in reaction to how Israel was conducting themselves. If Israel was serving as a conduit, as the church supposed to today, many people would be coming to the Redeemer. Many people would come to Jesus if the church would serve them instead of serving ourselves. Stay with me now. You don't believe me that the church served themselves. We mostly do things in inreach and we do few things in outreach. We have, and I'm not just talking East Friendship, I'm talking church universal. Every church I've been in, all 5 churches I served in, it was the same. We would cook and feed ourselves. Fellowship is good, but even while we're feeding ourselves, we should invite somebody who don't know Jesus to the table. Invite somebody who don't know God to the table. And so oftentimes the church is framed about keeping itself, and Israel was the same thing. So the Old Testament is earth's file of heaven's record of the promise of the coming king. Now let's turn to Deuteronomy 8:15. Let's look at some teaching quickly on how the kingdom is flowing through. Somebody find Deuteronomy 18:15, Old Testament book. Somebody else find Psalm 145:13. Let's stop right there for a minute. 18:15, excuse me. What we're looking at is all the Old Testament's file of heaven's records of the promise of the coming of the king and the kingdom. The prophecies upon arrival brings the revelation of kingdom. Let's look at some of them. We're going to start with Moses. Somebody look at it. Deuteronomy 18:15 says what? Somebody, Psalm 145. What did David say? 145:13. While they finding that, somebody find Isaiah chapter 9. That's David talking. Your kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and your dominion endures through all generations. Look at Isaiah chapter 9. Verse 6 through 7. Somebody have that? While you're trying to find it, someone's going to be looking up Daniel chapter 7, verse 13 and 14. Right? You should highlight that right there. It encompasses everything we're teaching about. Then Daniel saw the king and the kingdom in a very graphic detail. Daniel chapter 7, prophetic book of Daniel, one of the tremendous books. If you really want to see our time as you get in the end part of Daniel and Revelation in living color, hold a newspaper, read Daniel and your newspaper together. Read Revelation and Daniel and your newspaper. You'll see what's going on today in 2009. Daniel is one of the most powerful prophetic books. It has still so many of the prophecies of Daniel have not been fulfilled. It's a very powerful book. Not only brings you historically backwards, but it brings you also forward. Somebody look at Daniel chapter 7, verse 13 and 14. Read that for me. You understand it? This is why we have to understand the kingdom concept and become kingdom people. And because you have to understand that you worship, as a Christian, the king. Everybody's sure about that, right? So we're looking at prophetic books. We're walking through it. Somebody look at Daniel, same book, same chapter. Read verse 16b, verse 18. That's the second part of 16. Daniel chapter 7. Look down at 16. So he told me. Keep going. The saints. So you can take these four kingdoms, jump to Revelation, and you'll see the four beasts, and you'll understand that these are things to come. But my emphasis is that you can see prophetic word that talks about the coming full establishment and the restoration of Jesus Christ as the second Adam, restoring that which Adam lost and his kingdom to rest here on the earth. Everybody with me? It's so important that we as Christians understand that we're in between the two Adams, and we are the spokesmen and spokeswomen to make sure every person that God had already predestined to get the word. And sometimes I always wonder whether I failed by not sharing a word at a certain place at a certain time. A little quiet word, just a shake of a hand. When somebody asks you, hey man, could you give me $1? I just need $1 right now. Could you just hook a brother up with $1? That happened the other day, coming off the train. I'm like, you want $1, man? I said, why you want $1? I just need a little something to eat, I said, how much do you make a day doing this? I just wanted to know. One guy told me he made $500 a day. Taking my money. One guy told me he made $225 average a day, and he lived in the YMCA and don't plan to get no other place to live. He said, y'all guys are working so hard to keep what you got, and my job is to take what you got and live below. He said, so I go around the corner, get in my car, and I live in the YMCA. Yeah, he told me that. But my point was this. You worship the dollar. Have you ever thought about worshiping the king? This dollar may change your life for a minute, but Jesus will change your life for a lifetime. That's one seed dropped at one moment. A lot of us go, oh, God, here they come, avoiding them. Oh, he's here again. And what if it's Jesus just dressed up, entertaining angels? Some of us entertain angels unaware. One of the angels of God just testing you to see how you doing. Just out there looking like a bum, begging, dirt all over their face, bumps into you. You get off me, you stinking person. I'll leave y'all alone. I'll stop bothering y'all. Okay, I'll keep on going. Say, go ahead, okay, move on, Reverend. Let's look at it. Daniel 7, 21 and 22. Let's go down to 21, 22. Someone read that. Against who? Warfare. One more Daniel text. Go down to 26, 28. Read that. My Lord. So I just kind of walk you through there to see that the Bible's one of the central messages, the coming of the King and his kingdom. Everybody see it? Many times as Christians, we're awaiting the wrong thing. Most of us primarily awaiting what we can get from God versus want to be used from God to bring forth his kingdom. Everybody hearing me? So the Bible is constantly talking about the coming of his kingdom. But according to the Bible chronology, despite the possibility that the earth may have been in existence much longer, the Messiah king about 4,000 years ago, before the birth of John the Baptist, God waited almost 4,000 years before he sent his Messiah king to earth. The question is why, right? Why did God take so long to bring forth the kingdom? Everybody say patience. Patience. Why is Christ taking so long to come now? That's your question. Why? Why do you think Christ is tarrying? So he's given us a chance to witness, to evangelize. He would that all men be saved.